that got me thinking about an easier way we could help normal people delegate on Livepeer. So that was how Lysa came to be. So we're actually building Lysa as a tool to help everyday people, like normal folks, delegate on Livepeer using their local currency that they're already familiar with. And that's what Lysa is about basically. Can I get the slides, please? Okay. I think I'll go on without the slides, but I'll quickly go over to how far we've come so far. So far, the past couple of weeks, we've made a couple of posts on the forum page, and you have some community inputs there. We've had members of the community weigh in their opinions about how they feel about Lysa, and so far we've gotten positive feedback from the community, and also we've also readjusted our proposal on the forum to match and align with the community's view on Lysa. And finally, we were able to go on chain, and our proposal is currently live for voting now. So we love to have people participate on that. So I'm currently available to answer any question over the call, or probably personally to send me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Serial Winner. I hope that you can see the slides. We are sharing a presentation with the slides that you had sent over, and there is a QR code to the Treasury proposal live in Explorer now. So if
Okay.
folks could please scan that and check it out. If you have any last minute feedback or comments, please share with Serial Winner. You can also type a message here in chat. And thank you, Rick, for dropping that link as well. And yeah, please participate in the vote. It's always appreciated and it's always helpful.
Yeah.
Does
All
anyone
right.
on
Thank you.
stage have any comments for Serial Winner or feedback?
I do. I really like Lizar, and I think that it has some serious demand driving potential, and I'm a big supporter personally.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you so much, then.
All right. Thank you so much, Serial Winner, for sharing with us and looking forward to see the outcome of the voting phase. And next in line, we have an update from the Agent SPE. I think there's going to be a bit of a video showcase as well as a couple slides. And I think Phoenix is going to be leading this update. So if we could just get Phoenix on stage.
I think we had a little flip in the
Oh,
roster. I think
Dane.
I'll be the one presenting.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Glad to have you here, Dane. I will just shift on over to the game side updates and you can take it away now.
Awesome. So, as you guys know, the Agent SPE has been working on getting the AI agents integrated into the Livepeer network, as well as streaming using the Livepeer network's transcoding capabilities. And that's still our main purpose, of course. And we've been working really hard to make sure that we have the VTubers ready to go. But not only that, getting to the point where we have one-on-one interactions with the AI agents as well. So if we could go to the first slide, I can tell you guys some of the updates that I've been making to make this vision a reality. Um, First things first, I recently updated the blueprints and drastically optimized them, reducing the node count by over 500 nodes, um, and severely optimizing the performance of the actual game itself. So we're getting a higher FPS, we're getting better overall performance, and that we're also going to have a better latency um, a better latency interaction with the end user. Um, Next slide, please. So I've also made an update to the clothing. Before, the clothing was all based on a preset outfit. Now it's modular. So instead of just having a kimono outfit, you can now have a kimono outfit with wings, or a kimono outfit with you know, gloves or different shoes, and you can really customize the AI agent that you're interacting with to the fullest extent in terms of clothing. Next slide, please. I've also integrated all of the post processing effects that come out of the box with Unreal Engine into our TCP connector. So now you can send TCP commands directly into Unreal Engine and it will execute blueprint code. And as you can see in some of these images, we've got like a night vision sort of post processing effect. We've got Sarah looking like a ghost, and we've got Lucy over there looking pretty ghost like as well, or like just black and white cinematic. There's been a lot of post processing effects added. We've got exposure, bloom, temperature, tint, chromatic aberration, color grading, basically everything that comes with Adobe Premiere. And After Effects, in terms of effects, you can use now with the TCP hooks. Next slide, please. We're also able to spawn objects and lighting into the environment. So the the big idea with this is that the AI agents will be creating the environments themselves eventually. They'll be able to spawn lights, they'll be able to spawn 3D models, they'll be able to spawn particle simulations, pretty much anything that you can think of that can exist inside of that environment, they'll be able to both spawn and modify. Um, so we can change the sky to be day or night. We can change the bookshelf to a different bookshelf in whatever room they're existing in. They can change the flooring and add carpets. They can really do anything, and we can tell them to do these things with natural language, which is really interesting. So as time goes on, they'll be able to create their own environments, create their own lighting systems, and really be able to create their own environments for both interaction and animation. Next slide, please. And pixel streaming. So this one has been a real challenge for us. We've been working really hard to make sure that we can run Unreal Engine headlessly inside of a container and pixel stream the render target out to a WebRTC connection. So far, we've been able to get it on a local Linux machine, but we're still having some issues getting it running properly inside of the container. The Vulkan drivers have um, been the main hurdle for us, but we're getting really close to getting these things running inside of the container. And then we can start plugging in the AI agent in with the container and really like creating the full end product. Next slide, please. I think there's one more. Yeah. So I've also added the option to customize the clothing yourself. So there's obviously presets for the clothing, but you can um, modify this UV map, upload it to a Google Drive, and then send the TCP command with a URL to the UV map, and it will update the clothing in the game. So people can put their own logos onto the clothing and upload them onto the Google Drive and send it into the game all at runtime. So people can create AI agents that are maybe like customer support agents, right? So where, say for example, PayPal wants to integrate an AI agent to handle their customer support requests, and you can interact with a live AI agent. They'll be able to go in, modify the clothing, put their logo onto the clothing, put the PayPal logo onto the clothing, send it into the game, and now there's an outfit for PayPal specifically. So this gives the end user um, a lot of creative options, right? Like not just companies, but also people too. People can customize the clothing however they want with a simple TCP command. And I think that's it from me. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer, of course.
Thank you so much, Dane. I think especially the custom clothing design is super cool. I always I just kind of think back to things like playing Sims and being able to have that level of like extensibility and customizing characters. So I think folks will have a really good time with that, and it just kind of opens up a lot more use cases in terms of like personalization and customizing for brands and businesses. So I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If anyone has any further questions for Dane, for the Agent SPE, please drop in chat any comments. Overall, it's super cool and great to see what's been going on, and how kind of you know having folks focus on different things is pushing development of certain aspects of the Agent SPE ahead, um, like this one. So really cool to see, and yeah, keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me speak.
Of course. All right. Next up, we will have Marco from the Transcoding SPE. Can we please bring Marco up?
Hey, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Great
Cool.
audio.
Then going to get started very quickly because we only have 5 minutes. So my name is Marco. I'm here to give a brief update on the FrameX SPE. Next slide, please. So first, a very quick refresher. Why is there a framework network? Well, the Livepeer network needs more infrastructure providers. And with that, I don't mean more orchestrators, but more we need a lot of gateway operators that, expose and sell Livepeer utility to businesses at a high volume, kind of like how studios doing with their real-time video pipelines. So in the past month, we did a ton of work. We almost rewrote entirely our analytics engine. So we have a bunch of fancy analytics in our pipeline. We rewrote the entire wire protocol, which is a fancy way of saying the inter-service communication, how they all talk to each other. We enhanced our load balancer, so now we can fully remotely manage media nodes. So people that run self-hosting media nodes don't have to configure them at all. And we can also use them for distributed storage, which is nice to save costs. We have a work in progress CLI tool to make it even easier for people to deploy our stack. We made a web player, which is basically a wrapper around multiple players and a custom native HTML player, so we can swap between the player based on the device that someone is using and their browser and the contents of the stream. And lastly, I was still, yeah, this slide, yes, good. Lastly, we hired a designer, so we finally have our final logo, and they made some slides for us for this week, because this week is the IBC show. And so one thing they teach you in Venture Academy is you can never start too early with validating your product on the market. So once you have some utility to sell, try to sell it to people, and then you very quickly figure out what they're actually willing to pay for your product and if your roadmap is in the right direction or not. So this week we'll be at a Web2 video trade show called the IBC, and we'll hopefully get some first users onboarded and get a pulse in the market to shape our roadmap. And so anyone that's in near Amsterdam, we can get you free tickets. The foundation is also there, and we have homemade chocolates at our booth. That's always nice. Now the fun stuff. So last month I had a quick architectural overview of our platform. And this time I want to talk briefly about why our architecture is so cool, what makes it competitive. So we very much took a Web 2 approach for our platform. And so because our architecture is designed to, capture some of the Web 2 video market. So we have to go head to head with platforms like Cloudflare Stream or Mux or Wowza, and some of them have very rich platforms. And so not only do you need a bunch of features, you also need to be efficient with your resources to compete on price, and you need to still compete on performance, because end users are spoiled with Twitch and YouTube, where videos just load instantly and you have low latency and you can have tens of thousands of viewers and without any issue at all. So you really need to take a lot of care in building up a nice solid foundation for your video infrastructure. So that's what we did. We modeled using very modern architectural principles based off of also how current incumbents reach massive scale. So in buzzwords, it is a event-driven microservices architecture, but let's just forget that. It's just the buzzwords surrounding it. Anyway, we're also meaning to expose some more primitives, so video adjacent primitives, so not only transcoding or live recording, but also, for example, our custom analytics engine, so that system integrators can view where all of the transcoding minutes or GPU hours are being spent. And another big advantage is being flexible in pricing and deployment. So we have a shared free cluster, and if we have a demanding customer, we can give them a dedicated cluster, or as I mentioned, the self-hosted users that just want to have the media node, so they have their own bandwidth being used, but the platform for enrichment for other features, or plugging into the Livepeer transcoding pipeline or AI pipelines. And yeah, hopefully in the future, because what I'm planning to do is a more of a native integration with the Livepeer protocol. So that means enhancing the gateway node or maybe an implementation, but it's still future music. But hopefully we can make node operators tenants of the frameworks pipeline, and then we can turn their workers into a collection of microservices. And then hopefully we can have Livepeer node operators directly selling their services on the frameworks marketplace, and maybe add some more utility while we're at it, because our own edge node can also do delivery. So maybe leverage the bandwidth of worker nodes. But anyway, I'll get off the stage now. That's my 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Marco. Really interesting updates, and also really cool to think about, the amount of new users you could potentially get from participating in IBC in Amsterdam. So big shout out to you for all the work done so far. Really great to see the progression, and yeah, let's get those users. All right, so next up we will have Eli from Streamplace, just briefly recapping a couple updates from the Streamplace SPE.
Right on. Thanks very much. I presented last Wednesday at the fireside chat, so I don't have a ton of new bullet points, but what I'm going to do is go over some of the same information, but I'm going to go quickly through the things I talked extensively about on Wednesday, and then I'm going to talk more about the things that I talked about quickly on Wednesday. So, on the quick side, we had this event in New York at Friends of Livepeer, the Lot Radio. We have launched on Skylight.social. That rollout is happening slowly because they've decided to give their they've opted to sort of do an invite only thing for their users, so they're bringing people on to that integration slowly, and we've been squashing some bugs for them as that happens, but it's going well. And we've got 2 other integrations in progress. One with Spark, which is the another big TikTok clone on that protocol, and one for Flashes, which is like an Instagram clone. That's going to give us open source Flutter and Swift UI libraries for integrating Livepeer, or integrating Streamplace. So really making it as easy as possible. Next slide, please. This is the other big one for people that haven't seen this. Go Livepeer integration landed inside the Streamplace binary. So we've got all of Go Livepeer in there. You can do all of the things, save for I haven't done GPU support, but I'm imagining that orchestrators with dedicated GPUs are happy running a separate Livepeer node for that. But in terms of operating either as a gateway or a CPU transcoder, all of that is built directly into Go Livepeer. Very interested in continuing, built directly into Streamplace now, rather. Very interested in continuing to build out the sort of on-ramp for this, to make it like a graphical interface for funding your deposit and reserve and that sort of thing, giving Streamplace node operators a good way to get started with the Livepeer network. Next slide, please. So this is the stuff I sort of glossed over on Wednesday that I'm going to talk more in depth on. So the news here, where so my sort of North Star for Streamplace development and what I'll consider to be our next big milestone is getting proper syndication in place, which is to say, I've been talking big game about how we've been sort of come up with this novel form of decentralized broadcast and how we can do this sort of replication, but it's all sort of been very theoretical because all of our, we've been able to handle all of the streaming capacity so far on one large server that I rented. So very, very interested in changing that. We've been working with the team at IRO. Number Zero is their team that are building a very, very high performance Rust replication protocol for us. So this is other people operating their own Streamplace nodes that we want to make really, really easy, live streaming into those. And then as a node operator, you can opt to syndicate somebody else's live stream. You're like, oh, I like that stream, or they're paying me, or for whatever reason, I want my Streamplace node to rebroadcast their Streamplace node. So we're actually even working on a user interface for this, right? So you're going to be watching somebody's live stream. There's going to be a big syndicate button there, and you can opt to show it on your own Streamplace node. And that's going to be at that point, I'll really be trying to do like a big user push and really starting to show it off. I think that'll be a big step for us. I'm also very interested, love what Marco just presented, very, very interested in making this work as well with advancements in the Livepeer protocol. You know, how could orchestrators get into the content distribution game, that kind of thing is all very much what we have in mind for this. So very interested in continuing to work with the network team on this. Next slide, please. So the other piece we're doing is embedded metadata. I was just trying to pull up a screenshot. So we have a UI that I don't have a picture of because I was having trouble getting it booted right now, but it's imagine as you are starting a live stream, you can opt to talk about what kind of content's in your live stream. You can do content warnings. You can say if your stream contains nudity, things of that nature. You can specify how your stream should be replicated. Are people allowed to? How is it licensed? Does it have a Creative Commons license? Is it a license where only, or is it reserved? Is it only you can broadcast it? And how can others treat your streams? Are there other people allowed to rebroadcast or syndicate your streams? Are other people allowed to archive your streams? All of these things are sort of in the user consent piece. All of these things get baked into the 1-second MP4 files that constitute a Streamplay stream. We're opting here to try and give our streamers maximal control over how their streams are used and broadcast and syndicated by other Streamplace nodes. Next up. I think I've got one more slide. Yes, the last piece. So this has always been part of the Streamplace vision. Our pitch to a big streamer is don't switch from Twitch to Streamplace. Switch from Twitch to your own app with your direct relationship with your fans and your own presence on the App Store and Play Store. But because that app is powered by Streamplace and powered by sort of decentralized technology in general, you're not in your own bubble at that point. You can still have users that can log in across all these different apps. You can view your streams on more than one app. You can have chat and hosting and all these things that go on different apps. So we've got our first two people lined up for this. Lot Radio is very interested in the next generation of their iOS and Android app, which they have, but it's very minimal right now. It's just sort of their stream and a schedule. And then Sharpie, who I'll drop a link to in the chat, is an influencer. She has a background in the fighting game community. So she used to do commentating for big fighting game tournaments and that sort of thing. She's a content creator with a big interest in the decentralized web and is also very interested in this. So these are our two folks that we're piloting this sort of feature with. We'll be working with them to create totally custom versions of the Streamplace app that has all the same features under the hood, but has sort of their branding and the look and feel of exactly like they'd want to be. So we're going here for the proliferation of this technology. Get it into every app, get it into every website, make it as useful as possible, and start to spread things out that way. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Eli. Super cool stuff happening. That was a lot of stuff, actually, just kind of looking back, trying to digest everything. I think you covered it really well in such a short time. And I'm sure the fireside also allowed you to kind of rabbit hole on a couple things, but great progress being made and really exciting to see what's up, especially with the bespoke apps. Please check the chat for links to some of the things Eli just spoke about, like the Lot Radio, the Sharpie website, and so on. Really, really cool stuff happening. So let's show them some support. And yeah, that's about it. You can join the Streamplace server. It has its own dedicated Discord. to stay updated on all things Streamplace. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be moving on to our next presentation from the AISPE. If we could just have interpreter. Okay, you're already on stage. Please take it away.
Hello, y'all. Builders, orchestrators, delegators. Just giving you an update here from the AISPE.
Okay,
I'm Peter,
you're
also
already
known
on
as
stage.
interpreter. I'm running that orchestrator for a number of years here. And in the interest of time, I've kept the slides pretty short and technical here. But just to give a little overview, wanted to talk about basically our mission right now with Bring Your Own Container is to enable builders to bring new AI models online fast, frictionless, independently without needing to touch core infrastructure. And one of the ways we're doing this is by effectively giving every model or pipeline its own repo and runtime and deployment path. There is one caveat there. ComfyStream obviously can support more than one model or workflow. And the idea is kind of letting platform services handle stuff that's outside of inference and providing libraries that allow you to interface with the Livepeer stack. Because the problem we're seeing and we've encountered today, as much as we love AI Runner, the software that we helped develop and worked alongside Inc. to deliver many different pipelines, including the Daydream pipeline and the current Stream Diffusion pipeline and the Touch Designer API. But today, adding capabilities means editing that monolith and potentially having to wait on reviews from internal teams, navigating these internal bindings to go Livepeer and configurations and a lot of tribal knowledge. But our model we're shifting to each pipeline is its own repo, and you don't have to surgically perform an operation on the mono repo or core logic. So stream logic and pipeline-specific inference logic will evolve independently, and this kind of modularity we think will unlock velocity and enable permissionless innovation. We want to make onboarding a model feel more like it's publishing a website, not rewriting a whole backend. And so to move on to the slides, this is kind of an overview of what I was just going to cover. Really, we're establishing a new route. I think the first slide is still appropriate. I just was going to quickly review those. New route in Go Livepeer. We're working on developing the PyTrickle library to have a less friction in integration and identifying the touch points and minimizing that API, as well as building example prototypes with the PyTrickle library in addition to integrating it into ComfyStream as an example of bringing an existing container. So next slide. So in Go Livepeer, we just had a release here where we included some updates for supporting partners like the Agent SPE, mostly around payment. And in review right now, we have the exciting stuff for the new streaming route, OBS ingestion for our streaming route, and a data output URL, as well as we've created a Livepeer app pipelines repo that hosts our examples, as well as setup for hosting or setting up a gateway and self-hosted orchestrator for running these examples in development as well. Next slide. And so on to ComfyStream. This is unrelated to the BYOC upgrade, but we did upgrade ComfyUI, the core technology powering ComfyStream, to almost the bleeding edge version. They just released another one 4 days ago, so we're one minor version behind. But this enables us to allow users to run ComfyStream as a node, as is one of its capabilities, in the newest ComfyStream release, which wasn't possible before this ComfyStream release. Or rather, we're cutting a new release of ComfyStream this week with that upgrade. And in addition, hopefully that release will contain this new PyTrickle support, which is, if you don't know, PyTrickle is the glue that the AISPE is building between containers brought onto the network by new builders and the Livepeer stack. So again, we're just kind of identifying where we can minimize that and allow that to be the smallest, tightest API possible. Next slide. And okay, PyTrickle, the library in question, we've done a lot of work that's going to be landing here to support both the work in progress in Go Livepeer and in the Comfy Stream integration. So this includes our output channel. It also does some really cool navigation where it basically will enable different channels, video in, out, data, based on what kind of configuration you've set up, pretty much automatically detecting that from the request that's being sent in. We've added a lot like real-time streaming output that can be consumed by something like Kafka, as well as working on health monitoring, specifically around error handling in the pipeline, the streaming pipeline, since PyTrickle basically handles all of the streaming logic for your container that you're bringing on, starting, stopping streams, handling failed streams, restarting, etc. And we've also demonstrated a new pipeline from scratch, or a couple new pipelines from scratch, to highlight the second avenue onto the network, which is using an example, a provided Docker container and template, and the PyTrickle library to bring a. We've got these very minimal, simple examples that kind of highlight how fast this enables you to prototype a model onto the Livepeer network. So great work. Shout out to Jason there. And I think those are a couple of use cases that we found were interesting and are also preparing us to bring on third-party partners, as these have been some use cases that we've been led to believe that are going to help not only our existing partners that we have in the wings, but other potential partners. Let's see, next slide. I think that's all we got. So thanks, y'all. We'll be around for Q&A afterwards and look forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks, Nneoma. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Really cool to see everything you've been up to with the AI SPE and the rest of the team. Lots of progress. Like Peter said, once we head over into the water cooler segment, there will be more time for questions, comments if you have anything. Also, feel free to drop in chat if anything has come to mind. But yeah, thank you so much for that update. I think that wraps it up for our SP updates. I'm not sure if anyone else had something, but we'll just be covering a quick update from GovWorks, and then we'll be hearing from the foundation about the transformation SPE, and then we can wrap it up. I think we are still good on time. So just any last call if anyone had any words to say in the update segment. If you wanted to shout something out really quickly, just a moment there for you. Really, really cool to see how the SPE ecosystem has just kind of evolved and matured over time. And it's been really, really great to work with each and every one of you to stand up these SPs, to make sure that the progression of the SPs has been transparent and remain accountable to the community. So yeah, that brings me to the community update. So GovWorks SPE will be sunsetting our operations and handing over to Foundation and its advisory boards. So it's been an eventful and really productive term. We came on while Stable Lab was collaborating with Inc. before the foundation was formed, and we set up the GovWorks SPE to help streamline Treasury operations and to support SPEs create better processes for Treasury allocation, Treasury funding, and when we came in, there wasn't really much of a system. It was just kind of the on-chain Treasury and proposals going through the forum and then to the Treasury. But now I think, we can really look back and see that there is tons of progress that's been made. in terms of streamlining, organizing, in terms of accountability, transparency to the community that has been approving these votes to disperse Treasury funds. So it's a great kind of case study for how governance operations can really support more streamlined Treasury allocations, and really how to steward such an expansive ecosystem where folks are acting autonomously, and the organization as well is quite decentralized. So there isn't, one person saying yes or no to these proposals. We're all kind of organizing ourselves around shared values, and just this drive to make the Livepeer ecosystem the place to go for transcoding real-time AI video. So yeah, it's been incredible just kind of watching the evolution and the growth that's happened in this ecosystem so far. And with the foundation, shaping up with these advisory boards, and we'll hear more from Ben and Rich about the transformation SPEs. It's going to be such a great transition to bring more of these ideas into focus, and to also have a more structured way to execute on these community ideals and advisory board recommendations. So just to quickly recap what we've achieved so far, since October of 2024, 15 SP proposals were approved during our term out of a total of 19 proposals submitted, and six of those submitted were in assistance by GovWorks. So, really, working hand in hand with these SP teams to upload proposals, give feedback, and so on. And now we see many of these teams thriving here today in the Livepeer ecosystem. So kudos to you all for all the work done. Currently, we have just about 12, maybe a little bit less, because I know some folks have just recently rounded up their milestones. So active SPs as well as 4+ completed SPEs since October 2024. And we have folks, I'm sure, also thinking about the next phase of funding and what future funding tranches will be used for. Since October, we also held over 8 monthly Treasury Talks. We coordinated a space for SP teams to come provide live updates, share ideas, identify collaboration opportunities, working hand in hand with Anne, with Carlotta, to shape up Treasury Talks, and even thinking about how to spread the word even further about all the great stuff that's happening in the Livepeer ecosystem, multi-streaming to multiple platforms, and seeing how much new users we could capture from that has been really interesting and a great experiment. We've been publishing these governance digests in the forum as a way to keep folks up to date on everything that's happening in the ecosystem. If you're more of an asynchronous participant in governance, then these digests are just kind of a good bird's eye view of what's been happening. We launched the governance hub in Notion along with the SP dashboard, where we're able to share this up to date information regarding SPEs, um, proposals, updates posted in the forum, and so on. And then more recently and more notably, we were able to work with the Karma team to integrate their GAP platform for milestone tracking. So that's been it's been such a great journey, working with everyone, and really appreciate all uh, the the gratitude in the comment section. It's been really cool. We're still gonna, stick around and support what Livepeer has got going on, and there might also be some, ways in the future where we could keep collaborating, whether it's through the work streams, or whatever else is coming from the foundation side. But really wanting to streamline those operations is the reason why the GovWorks SPE is sunsetting, and we'll be handing over to the governance advisory board, as well as the foundation overall, to just keep setting that strategy and executing on that strategy through work streams. um, so yeah, thank you all so much for your time, for your collaboration. It's been a great ride. We will have Ben. I think Ben is available. I'm not sure if Rich is around. Uh,
Yes, so I'm available to present.
oh,
I'll be
okay.
presenting for it mostly.
Perfect. Rich.
You have the slides for us, right?
Oh yeah, just really
Yes.
quickly also, I just wanted to show this graphic. If you head on to the forum, you will see the GovWorks retrospective and a bit more data about how Treasury allocation has gone so far. So once again, thank you all for your time. It's been such a pleasure, growing with the Livepeer ecosystem, and I'm sure there's much more great things to come. Even just from the updates we've heard today, it's really just setting the stage for more adoption, more growth overall. So thank you all. And without further ado, I'll pass it on to Rick for updates on the Transformation SPE, which is now live in Explorer.
Yeah, thank you so much. And adding to the message in the chat, thank you so much for everything that you've done. I think Ben said it right. This presentation already showcased everything that has been done because of what you guys did. So um, to go over my presentation, can you go one slide back? No, you can use this one. It's okay for me as well. So I'm Rick. Let me share my camera for the people that are on Discord. If you're on Telegram or on Twitter, you cannot see me, but you can look back the recording. So I'm very excited to represent the foundation here. Normally it's Rich representing, so here the one letter difference. I'm doing this. And Rich already gave an update of most that I will discuss in the fireside. So I will be brief, but so you can also look that back. But I'm really excited here to present it. In the fireside, we also talked a little bit about the growing team that we have, new members, I think. And then correct me if I'm wrong, after this chat, we will have a presentation in the next fireside on that. And I'm here to answer any questions at the end as well. So next slide, please. So for people that don't know it, the Livepeer's mission, or the mission of the Livepeer Foundation, is really to steward the strategy and ecosystem growth and core development of the Livepeer project. So we really view the Livepeer Foundation as a vehicle of ecosystem participation. That can be seen from the previous cycles that we did with the advisory boards, where we had a markets board, network board, a growth board, a governance board, which really was made up by core members of the community, external experts in their fields. And the goal really of the Livepeer Foundation was to get more community focus into the strategy setting of the Livepeer project. Next slide, please. So last week we put forward our strategy to accelerate the Livepeer ecosystem. It's based on previous steps which we did. Yeah, that slide. It's based on previous steps which we did with the advisory board. So for people who don't know the advisory board, I will summarize shortly. So advisory boards came together to define the problem space of the four areas that I already talked about: network, markets, growth, and governance. And there they really created the strategic pillars of how to approach these areas for future ecosystem growth there. Then they created short-term tactical recommendations on how to act towards these strategic pillars. And then eventually the foundation members sat down, worked with key ecosystem partners like Inc. and all the amazing SPUs you saw before. And we created work streams. So work streams really are like groups of related products towards this technical recommendations, strategic pillars that we believe are critical for the Livepeer product to help set the strategy to accelerate Livepeer ecosystem into the next chapter. So next slide, please. So this new strategy we called Search. So for us, it was an obvious choice given the early signs of a product market fit. For example, on the dating product, what Inc is doing, increased demand in that area. Also, as you saw, all the amazing SPEs, which also are building on the demand, that also showcase all the talents that we already have in the community, and also new talent and new capital entering the community. And really, with this strategy, we want to use the opportunity to really search forward. Next slide, please. So to fuel this next chapter and to act on this strategy, we put forward a proposal. That's the Transformation SPE proposal. It was posted a little bit over a week ago on like the forums in the first forum. And that led to a lot of amazing feedback. There was great responses from the community on this proposal. We also received a lot of valuable feedback, which we listened to. And the reason that we put down this proposal is because we really think that with this strategy, we need coordination between the SPEs, the different groups, but also funding, which we can already set out to the most important items that came from the advisory boards. Next slide, please. So as I said already, we had great feedback from the community. Thank you so much for going through the proposal in depth, leaving feedback, being in the water coolers to discuss the proposal with us. And based on that, we incorporated a new proposal based on the suggestions. This was posted on the forum on Monday. Also after that, we had a water cooler. You can also watch that back. There were discussions on that. And then we left it open for 1 week on further feedback from community members and Inc. members that we received and other entities. And I'm very excited to say that we posted it on chain on Friday. And with this updated proposal, I quickly wanted to go over what we changed relating to the old proposal there. So basically, there is now a clearer focus on the work streams with prioritization on key deliverables. We first had 9 work streams, and we now have 3, which are still within the proposal, which are still in line with the advisory boards, but really more focused on really shipping the important things first there. And I'm working with the community on handling the other technical recommendations, which of course are still important. And that's the first change that was done to the proposal. Apart from that, we also really increased the focus on SPE coordination over direct ownership. So there is, instead of really taking ownership of the technical recommendations, there we now already what we said first was coordinating with the entities, but we don't request the funding for all the things there. We really focus on coordinating entities that can route funding to existing and new SPEs. Also, we had added more clarity around the RFP process and transparency, especially also it's important to state there that we made it more clear that no funding is going to the foundation members itself. It's really funding for working with the ecosystem partners, SPEs, new contributors in the space to act on these technical recommendations. So also the budget was reduced. We currently have a request of 44K LPT. We're leading to a more focused proposal where we still think we can deliver the most important things there. And also we put some things within the internal foundation funding, and that that also led to more funds, of course, being left over to the amazing SPEs to work towards the tactical recommendations while receiving coordination from the foundation to help with progressing. Next slide, please. As already stated, the proposal is on chain. I'm extremely excited to be able to announce that, and you can go look through it. If you have any questions, we have Q&A or after this, but also in the Discord you can always ping us. And then next slide, please. And I'm even more excited to start shipping. Well, this proposal will allow us to start. Really, we have talked a lot in the last months. We set like strategy, we posted forum posts, but now we can really start shipping. And we will, and that allows us to ship for not only the next 4 months, but also then continuously ship towards the recommendations from the advisory boards. And then with, of course, less frequent advisory board cohort, still keep iterating on that, and so that the Livepeer ecosystem keeps shipping towards the goals and the North Star of the Livepeer ecosystem. And then also, we're very excited to keep going. We grew the team, as you already heard before. We will update you on that. We already have very strong SPs in our community, as you saw from the updates or the previous Treasury Talks. So there's a lot of talents that can act on this roadmap, and we are looking forward to coordinate this SPEs and also route funding back to existing and new contributors. So the new work streams which are included in the proposal, actually it's not fully new, but they were renamed here to really state what we are promising, is increased value through active capital management, accelerate new use cases through active top builders, upgrade core network protocol through core development coordination. And these were work streams that were in the 9 work streams, which we put out, which we currently found the most important ones to do while we work with the community on the other technical recommendations and work streams next outside of this proposal. So next slide, please. So thank you so much for listening to our update. Also looking forward to hear your feedback on it, your questions, and looking mostly forward to start building towards the vision set by the advisory boards and the community.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rick, and really, really appreciate the time spent on shaping up this transformation SPE proposal along with, the rest of the foundation team. It's been quite a gradual, process from the survey to the advisory board recommendations being shared and, to the work stream plan as well as the transformation SPE being posted. I can really see, the deliberation and intention behind standing up these processes for, the rest of the community and what's to come in the Livepeer ecosystem. So really, really great. I really appreciate, such thoughtfulness in strategies. So congrats to you. Congrats to the rest of the foundation team, Rich, Ben, Van. It's been great working with you all and definitely will keep supporting. We will spend the rest of our time and the rest of budget that GovWorks still has left with making sure that we have a smooth as possible transition and handover period. So I know there's a couple new hires on the foundation side, and we'll be working hand in hand to make sure all the processes are handed over, appropriately, and we are, continuously working with existing SPEs to make sure that, there aren't any loose ends. So please click the link for the transformation SPE. Rick has just dropped that in the chat. Cast your vote. You can also leave your rationale in Explorer now, which I think is a really cool tool. And yeah, looking forward to see the outcome of both of the proposals that are now live in Explorer. I think we're just about 3 minutes over. We're going to be transitioning over to the water cooler segment. But once again, thank you all for your time. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, we'll definitely be around. This is not goodbye, just, a transition to a new phase. So thanks again and take care, all.
Yeah. Do we do a question of answers from for all the SPE that presented? Great. So if people still have questions, you can put them in the chat. I will or relay them to the people of the SPEs if they're still here in the audience. If they're not, I will relay them. Otherwise, we'll call them